And we're back. It's pretty good. And Kitty's just up there. Let me see. Yeah. There she is. Now that we're back, it's time to get back to work. I'm trying to film here. Oh. What? Come here. Yeah. Yeah. Come here. It's Mabel. Oh, and now she's gone. We have to get this corset finished. There is still so much work to get done. I'm trying to film. There's so much work to get done on this. We have to get all the decor on it painted gold. We have to add on all the stained glass images. I went ahead and I printed that off on some printer paper. We have to do all the beading and get that onto the corset. We gotta figure out what I want to do for the dress. Then we have to draft the dress. And then we have to sew the dress. And let's see what else. Then we got to dye the fabric. Once we make the dress, we gotta dye it and get the cool ombre blood look. Oh, and before I forget, we have to do the resin on the corset to give it that porcelain look. What else do we gotta do? I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for the little swords on the heart and how we're gonna get those attached. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it with my laser cutter. And finally, bedazzle. No problem. But that is a lot to get done, and let's not waste any time and get back to work, okay? It's time for the rub and buff. Alright, here we go. Oh, so pretty, pretty, pretty. Do, 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 do. I just rolled out of bed. We are looking freaking awesome. Holy cow. I kind of don't even want to like finish it. The black and the gold is beautiful. Holy moly. Freaking love. I have our stained glass images all printed and everything ready to go. I altered them a little bit just to kind of like make the colors a little more matchy. It's extremely hard to find good actual stained glass images, and I'm pretty sure these aren't real stained glass either, so but we're working with what we got. So we gotta cut this out, glue it on, and then we have to resin. But yeah, let's get this girl to the finish line, shall we? Oh shit, I still have the beading. Maybe I'll work on the beading if I can't resin. Okay, let's get going. Enough talking. To get the stained glass images onto the corset, I had to make a template first using tracing paper and painter's tape, so I can use this as a template for cutting out the images to fit all around this crazy details that I'm currently regretting. Not to mention they aren't very identical on each side, so I had to do this for every single panel. Oh boy. But once I was happy with my patterns, I can go ahead and cut them out on the printed images. They aren't exactly perfect, but it's not going to be too much of a problem. To get the paper stained glass images onto our corset, I just slather everything in Mod Podge and layer the paper on as nicely as we can, and just more Mod Podge. And then rinse and repeat 6 more times for every panel. Yay. Now this is where the images not being perfect is not a problem, because we're just gonna cover it up and blend them with a little bit of black paint in the corners to make it less obvious. So I just got back from Michael's. I bought a lot of stuff I didn't need. But we got the epoxy. I had this epoxy, which I used on my original purple corset, which worked out great, but it's really old. It's like a year old, so it's yellowed, which means it's not good. So I bought this. What we're gonna do is go ahead and start the epoxy process. There's still way more to do on this bedazzling beads. We still have to make the dress, but the Halloween party is this week. My friend wants to wear this because the theme is vampires, so we're gonna wear it, and then after Halloween I'm gonna continue working on it and then hopefully do the reveal. So okay, let's get to it. Working time 35 minutes. I'm doing my best to get a thin pour to help reduce any bubbles that I whipped in while mixing, but whatever is left over, we can just hit it with a little bit of fire. Be careful, because this paint and foam clay can catch on fire, and we do not want to repeat of last time. And with that, we have to wait 30 more minutes, so I'll see you then. After letting that sit for about 30 minutes, we can come back and do the other side of the corset. This is because I have to level out the corset as best as I possibly can for each panel, so the resin doesn't just leak out. But this still happened. There's only so much you can do when it's a curved object and there's liquid. Next time though, I would like to do this with a UV resin, but I only had a very tiny bottle and a tiny UV flashlight, so that's why I didn't go that route, but it would have been quicker and likely less messy. I did have to do this resin process about 4 times over 2 days, so yeah, that sucked. Oh, the lid glued shut. That I went to go unscrew it and it just unscrewed the whole bottle. Play the do 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 do. Everybody! Well, it's been a while. And by a while, I mean October, November, December, January. Almost 4 months since I touched this project. It was supposed to come out for October for my Halloween video, but after I did not get it done for Halloween, I decided to take a break. So here we are. We're back at it. I have a bunch of the beads strings started, but today I am actually working on the dress. Alright. So, because I'm really behind on this project, and it was really, I didn't feel like filming, and because filming takes a lot of time, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I did some pattern alterations to a pattern that I have. Show a photo here of the original pattern, and then I just used all the garbage sheets I had. We did a test with the ribbon to tie it to make it form-fitting, even though it's going to go under the corset, so it's not really a huge deal, but I just wanted to make something that didn't need to be form-fitting, that can be loose, so I could quickly do it and not worry if it fits or not. So this is where we're at. I did one side testing here. A technique I'm thinking of doing, I will have to go back in and refine this technique, but I think I'll be able to do it on the final. But yeah, so we're gonna move forward with that and get that done hopefully in the next couple days. So the plan is, one second, I have this beautiful sheer red fabric that we're gonna make this out of, and then I'm also thinking, hopefully by now I've showed you the sketch. Anyways, I'm thinking of like a cape sleeve thing, so I'll need to attach it here and possibly here. We'll do that with whatever we have left, which I'm sure we will. So here is my concepts. I really wanted to do something probably a lot more interesting, like having seams down here or whatever. Had different back, but I just have to keep this simple because I have to get it done. So this is the basic concept. This was just kind of the thought process for the back. It's obviously not a V, it's low. Corset on top, just so I could see how much it would cover. And then this was just kind of my notes, so I remember what I was thinking to how to do this top. And it's all sewn together. The plan is red and black, so I'm thinking once I sew it, I will do a ombre dye in some black with leaving the red on the bottom, because my friend wants it to feel like it's been dragged through blood, since the kind of theming here is vampires. So I think we're gonna have to floor troll this, because this is not enough space to cut these pieces, which means I also should vacuum my floor. So be right back. Floor troll time! Kind of playing around with this this is supposed to go all the way to meet up with this hem and be straight, but I'm kind of thinking, and I wish I thought of this earlier because then I wouldn't have to sew another freaking line, that I might like ruffle this and then add another one right here. And I don't think I'll have to worry. This will give me more volume, right? And then I don't think I'll worry too much about the back because when it's all tied, it's gonna kind of be like that anyways. So I think I might do that. I have enough fabric for that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with doing something like that. Yay! Don't play with that.
Soup.
So this is the second time I've dyed it and washed it. The first time turned out really pretty, but it was still like a little more brown. The middle was this beautiful like red wine color, which I did like, but the cape, since I did not change out the water bath, it had a little more dye and soap in it, so it took a little bit better. So, because I also wanted it a little darker, I got some more dye. I did a whole bottle on this, and then I did that same dye bath, added just like a little bit more dye to it, and then just did it for like a third of the time, and they look pretty good, and I'm very happy with the coloring. My tub's ruined, but the dress is beautiful, so. Oatmeal, what are you doing? You got your bone? I'm looking the same as I did in the intro. Haha, I lied to you. I filmed this. I filmed this at the same time because I'm always too lazy and forget to film intros and outros. So, we're back and she's done. So this has to be the biggest project I have ever done. Well, that's a lie. This is the biggest project I have ever done for YouTube. That's the truth. This has to be my newest favorite project that I have ever done. Oh my god, she was gorgeous. I wish I had her with me. She lives with Katie now. This is like the coolest thing that I have ever made. Also, it was really nice to not have to be the model for a change because sometimes I feel very awkward sitting in, well, being in my office alone and just me and the camera just... Am I cool? Am I cool? Do I look cool? Do I look pretty? Guys, it gets weird sometimes. I think between this one and my first one, let me get my first one. Between this one, and that one, I've learned so much. And I think if I make another one, oh my god. But man, was it just so rewarding seeing my friend in the completed project. God, she looked hot and so freaking cool. just seeing everything together. She was chef's kiss stunning. God, that girl's a sexy vampire. I hope that she was just as happy as I was. With how everything came out, she looked absolutely beautiful. She has been eyeing these porcelain corsets from Candy Makeup Artist for a while, so I hope it's everything she wanted and that she loves it dearly. My blood, sweat, tears, and curse words went into this freaking project. So Katie, if you don't love this corset, I'm going to scream and murder you, but probably not because I still like having you around. So let's wrap this video up with lessons learned, or the new segment that I'm calling Negative Nancy Time. You like that? You like that joke? I got that from my husband, who whenever I go and I show him a new project, I tend to just start talking about what's wrong with it and showing him every little possible piece that's wrong. So now he just expects me to come in and start being a negative Nancy. So that's funny. Get it? It's funny. First problem I had with this project is the center, like, cathedral sculptural base in the middle. Instantly regretted covering that in Worbla, because one, trying to cut all those little holes and mold it around, it just ruined the beautiful preciseness that my laser cutter got. And I originally did that because this chest part was, with the foam, was going to be weak. I didn't want this part to be wobbly, but the reason why I didn't want to cut it with like an acrylic or wood was because I needed the parts that went whoop and whoop to be more flexible. But I think what I should have done is go ahead and like maybe have cut that out of wood and also just cut those pieces out of foam, I don't know. Or just have done the foam and like did like a resin epoxy thing to harden it. I don't know. Or once I start sculpting on it, like that, I did use the 2-part epoxy sculpt for that, and that was great. But then moving on to our second problem with the epoxy sculpt, I had thought that on my original corset that I did use some epoxy sculpt because I've done something similar and I had filled it in with epoxy sculpt on a very old cosplay project, and I confused it for my last porcelain corset. But that was the wrong move because the Worbla still needs to flex when we're tightening it around. Here, let me show you with this. So it's like that, like we still, right, it's just there, but we still need it to go. For like corners here, that caused a lot of the epoxy sculpt to crack, and there was one particular problem area around the boobs where the piece met the corset. It needed a lot of flexibility there, and so pieces just kept cracking, and I kept filling it in with foam clay and even some UV resin. Eventually the UV resin got it. I held it at its like most
curved. I filled it with resin and then I hit it with the UV light, and that helped. But if you look too closely, it's very messy. I should have just done foam clay, or there is now I've discovered cos clay. I've never used it, but I've seen other creators for sculpting purposes use it, and I think that would probably be a smarter way to go in the future. Just to know, the whole thing needs to be flexible. Hey man, we definitely got some resin leaks. There's only so much you can do with doing a slow cure resin on a curved object. It's not going to want to stay. So I did have to go back in and sand off huge resin drips, which I did not show. And a nice little factoid again, because I didn't film this, so it wasn't noticeable. But I had started putting on all the little red gems, rhinestones, crystals with hot glue. And that was just like really hard to not get chunky glue. So then to finish off, I covered it with super glue, and as careful as I was, it was getting on top of the crystals, and so when I was done, they were incredibly foggy and dull, and I had a brief moment of panic until the thought in my head popped. I had a thought from watching a lot of creators on YouTube when they finish like big resin pours, and they just like hit it with a gloss spray coat. I did that because I was already planning on hitting it with a protective spray coat. Perfect. Solved everything. The crystals were so shiny and beautiful in those shots. I mean, you guys saw it. It was beautiful, right? It was stunning. What else can we complain about? My biggest problem is that with these type of projects, I am just way too much of a perfectionist. When I'm making stuff like this, I really want it to be as perfect and beautiful and reusable as much as possible, especially because this was for someone else who I know will want to wear it for Ren fairs or fantasy ball one day, I hope. So for me, it has to be something that she would be willing to have paid for from a professional. And that's just what I do. And because of that, it takes a really long time for me to get this stuff done. Or I just hit burnout and then I get nervous and scared and I don't want to touch it. And then I come back and I touch it and I'm like, oh, I only needed 2 more days to make a dress and this was done. So I don't know why I spent 2 months not touching it. And this video came out 6 months late. It's fine. It's fine. You guys liked it, right? It's fine. But, anyway. Let's wrap this video up with, thanks for watching, my fancy friends. If you're into this kind of slow content, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Please leave a comment below, because God knows I need all the help I can get. Okay, thanks. Bye. Love you. Mwah!
Yeah, tits and ass, tits and ass, tits and ass, tits and ass. Hell yeah. Sorry, my dog. We have to, 1 second. We'll get sewing, so. It's actually kind of appropriate that I'm working on this bloody dress today when I just had to go get my blood drawn. So, let's do it. Okay. Goodbye. You can totally see it. I knew it was gonna happen, but I couldn't go around with this. I'm just over here like a goblin, like red light, and you're just like. I'm covered in dog hair now. Get out of here. Go on, get.